Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, no matter where you're calling in from. We got people around the world from Italy, United Kingdom, Denmark, Australia, USA, United Kingdom. You haven't said that one? USA. Wow, what a packed webinar room we have this evening. We have a very, very exciting presentation that we're going to share with you this evening. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover a few points. I just need to say to you that last week we had a record week. It was a bumper booster week. There was a phenomenal amount of signups, a phenomenal amount of business, and so much so we have too many people to recognize. Doesn't that sound sad? But that's exciting because there's so many people that's qualifying as a power distributor. I tell you now, folks, if you haven't qualified, make sure you do. And after this presentation, you're going to have the tools to make sure you do. Okay, without any further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to our guest speaker, who is a very good friend of mine and is one of our top UK global power distributors, and that's in the United Kingdom. That's Alan Platt. Alan, over to you.
Hey Simon, how are you? Thanks for your time and inviting me onto this webcast this evening. I wanted to talk about a 90-day blast that I recommend that we all should do throughout the group, and I know we spoke on this before, so thank you very much for the invite to present this evening. Now, basically, what a 90-day blast is where we all set a system in place for anyone who's new, or whether you're an existing team member. You can start a 90-day blast at any time. You could literally start this tomorrow. But one of the things I think is really important is in setting anything up for the future is really trying to work out where you want to go. Where do you want to start with the end in mind? So what I recommend when people come on board, and this is what we've been duplicating through our group, is effectively to make a list of all the goals. So we're setting a time frame, say, of 90 days, but what do we want to achieve in that 90-day blast? And it's all about creating massive, massive momentum within the team. So, for example, some people can come on, and we've all got different lives. Some people's lives are hectically busy, and that's the great thing about this business, the Sherlock. You can build if you're the busiest person on this planet, because the system is so simple. But if people can set aside that the time that they can put into the business and commit to doing that. And when I say time into the business, I mean productive time. We all can say, right, we're going to do an hour a day, 5 hours a day, 4 hours a week, whatever that individual's time is. But if they start watching videos all the time, it's not really going to grow the business. So I'm talking about revenue producing activities, and that's good to grow as an individual, but it's really important to do the correct activities to help grow your business and help grow the business of your teammates as well. So one of the things that I recommend people to do is really think seriously about the amount of time they can put into their Shopping Sherlock business. Now, we all agree that the more time you can put in, the better. If you can absolutely blitz this every single day, 7 days of the week, you know you're going to have a bigger business. And if you can duplicate that in your team, you know the whole group will have a bigger business. So I think maybe some people might say I can do 7 to 10 hours. Some people can say I can do 15 to 20 hours a week. Some people can say I might be able to do 5 hours a week. Obviously, it's their time. It's not right or wrong. It's what they can fit in. But if they can fit that in and really systemize to use that correctly, then we can maximize that time. So I try and find out of people how much time they can put in, and then trying to make them focus on the correct activities within that time as well. Now, also, maybe some of your goals could be rank advancement. What sort of rank do you want to achieve? Imagine if you've just joined today in this 90-day blast that you're going to do. Do you want to go to power distributor? Do you want to push for global? There's lots of different levels people can try and achieve. And again, goals are personal. We can help people set targets. So I say to people, make your own goals, and then we can help you work through them. So again, it's setting the rank. Power maybe is your first target, especially if you can do it in that first 15 days and achieve those fantastic bonuses that we get with the Sherlock. So again, if we can duplicate that into the team and help them to hit their targets, quite often that helps us in our own. If you have that mindset as well, where we kind of do whatever it takes to achieve it. Yeah. So if you think you want to be successful, go that little step further than what a lot of people don't. Really try and push yourself really fast, especially at the start of your business and at the start of a 90-day blast plan. mean, give you an example. You can set an income goal saying you want to achieve so many $100 a week, so many $1,000 a week, or whatever your goal could be. But then you've got a target that you can actually aim for, and you can push and you can track it then. Because if you're saying I'm going to do an hour a day, you know whether you've done an hour a day. You can track it. If you know your team's growing, you're heading up to power or to global, you can track that. You can track your income goals. So these are really specific and measurable goals that you can track against. And again, one of the other things I think is really important is to be professional. This is a business. This is a professional business. And I say clock in. It's like a lot of people, sometimes can treat a certain business as a hobby. This is a professional business. And if you treat it as such, where you clock in, right, I'm going to work the shopping Sherlock now for this time period, and everything else gets pushed around it, not the other way around. Because that's what's going to make the biggest difference in your business. Effectively is really hammering it. Now when I first started, I set quite a few high goals for myself, because I thought if I aim high and don't reach there, there's a good chance I've got pretty high anyway. So we really pushed for global. So we wanted to go power really quickly, and we did that, and then we went global in our third full month. So we did it in just over 12-13 weeks to hit global. But we did that because we did this 90-day blast. So towards the end of that, we effectively got to an area where we'd achieved one of those goals. One of the other goals was to get to sponsor 50 people personally as fast as we could. And we did that literally at the end of our third full month, start of our fourth full month. So again, it's about creating a goal that you can really push towards. Now, if I'd have sponsored 40 people personally, that would have still been a great start for me. But we hit the target of the 50, we hit the global, and then that's what we try and then duplicate within the business, because I think it's really important to really put into effect what you say to the team yourself. So it's hard to say to someone go under a 90-day blast if you don't do it on your own. So I think leading from the front is really key. So that's some of the things that we try and do, is set our goals first so we know where we're going, what we're trying to achieve. And then once we've got our goals, we've got to try and think, well, we've got the goals, how are we going to achieve them? Now, with our business model and the shopping Sherlock, it's all about, in my opinion, prospecting, prospecting, prospecting. We've got an amazing business opportunity here. We've got an amazing product that everyone in the world we know would benefit from having. So what we've got to do is get to as many people and share it with them as fast as we can. But how do we do that? Well, the first thing I recommend to somebody when they're new, or even if they're restarting the business, is make a list or make a new list around about 200, 250 names. Now, a lot of people think, I don't know 200, 250, but if you really delve deep, and there's lots of different ways you can get up to that by working with your upline sponsors and your upline globals, and they will help you get to those numbers, because most people know more than 200 people. Going through your phones, going through your memory joggers who you went to school list with, all the different ways you can think about creating a list, how many business cards you've got, who's on your emails that you've got phone numbers for. Now, but on that list, for me personally, it was about hitting the phones first. It was actually picking up. My first list was the people that I had contact details for, so I could pick up the phone and say, hey, it's Alan, I've got something really special. You need to have a look at it now. Yeah, so we've got a sense of urgency on the start of a 90-day blast, because we want to create massive, massive momentum. So the bigger the list, the better. If you create a list of 10 people and the first 5 say no, you're thinking, whoa, half my list is gone. But if you've got a list of 200 people and your first 5 say no to the opportunity, because not everyone's going to see something as special as what we do, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because you've still got that posture. You've got a lot of people to speak to. Again, we never prejudge, because you never know who's going to run with this. I mean, we've introduced this to people who you would never have thought would run with it big style, and they have. You never know who knows other people as well. So write everybody on the list. I think it's really, if we try and prejudge, I think it's rude. Because why should I say, well, I'll show it to that person, I won't show it to that one, I think they might want to see it, I'll give the app to that person. For me, that's rude. I just give them the information. I literally invite people to see what we do, yeah, and let them make their own mind up whether they want to do it. So prejudging for me is something that we should always get on our list completely out of our heads. Just put every single name down there, whether it's the guy who serves you in the shop or the lady you met in the garage, they go on there. And with this list as well, is effectively should be growing organically, because you meet new people all the time. You might not introduce the opportunities straight away, because you, especially when you've got lots of people to talk to, that's the great thing. But we meet people all the time. Add them, trying to create a creative way to follow it up. So if you're out in a restaurant, you get chatting to someone, try and get their contact detail. You could do a whole training just on lead generation and how to do this. But I think the great thing here is add to your list every day, and you should never ever run out of people to speak to. Because if you bump into someone, get a contact detail. If you're in a business meeting, get a business card. Find a way to reconnect and then introduce the business to them. So effectively, you've set your goals, and then after you've done that, make the biggest list you can ever do, and always add to it, because that's going to make your business stronger. Now, once you've set your targets and your goals, then we try and then fine-tune that a little bit more now, because we've got the list of people. Now we can then say, well, how fast are we going to contact all these people? Imagine if you've got a list of 100, a list of 200. Now let's say 100. Now you could speak to 100 people over a 12-week period, over that 90 days, which would be good. But you imagine out of that 100 people, some are going to say yes anyway. Some are going to say no. You know, some might be a maybe, and it takes a while longer for them to make a decision. But you know what? If you could get to those 100 people in your first 12 days, why wait 12 weeks? Absolutely hammer it. Those same people who are going to say yes have probably said yes all in your first 12 days. That's what's going to help create momentum for you, the excitement in the group. You still spoke to the same people. You've still shown them the same information, but you've done it really, really fast. Now, the way I think is great to try and target that is create a system for yourself, and it's all different. I'm just showing you a few different ways people could do it. You could say, maybe I'll speak to 7 people a day. Yeah, or you might say 10 people a day, or 5. The target's your own. Or maybe you might say, well, I want to run 2 people through the whole tour per day. Get them on Destination Diamond, show them the system we've got, what we've got, and then see what the outcome is. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. You might say, right, I'm going to do 10 emails a day. I'm going to contact some people I've got on Skype, do some Skype messages. A couple of people you might want to arrange meetings with, go for a cup of coffee, invite them around to your home. There's lots of different ways you can try and introduce that list and expose them to what we have, which is the amazing Shopping Sherlock. And add to that list each day, like I mentioned. You can use your social media, your Facebook. And recently there was a fantastic training on my Fraser on how you can build that. Again, use these social media platforms, your Facebooks, your LinkedIns, your Twitters of this world. Again, another way we can create targets is you might say, well, I want to invite so many people to the Monday night business opportunity webcast. You might say, I want to target myself to get 3 people on there. Because you know, if you've got people watching the presentations, your business is going to grow. If you're speaking to no one, it's probably going to be falling behind, because if your team duplicate what's happening there, well, it's only one direction. But if you can really push the business from the front and create a team where that's duplicated, that's what's going to help people go global in 12 weeks. That's what's going to help your team expand into thousands around the world. Another way you can maybe create a target is say, right, I personally want to sponsor 3, 5, 10, 12, whatever your number is, new team members in the particular month. So you might find halfway through you're on track, and if you're not, if you're behind, well, the last 2 weeks you've got to be making more calls to hit that target. But in reality, it's all about activity. The more activity we do, the more people we speak to, the more people we invite to see what we've got, the more chance we've got of building our business. Now, we've got a great system that we duplicate in our group, and it's the 3-step system. We call it being a tour guide. So we're not the person giving the information, we're pointing to where the information is. And you can't get a better site than destinationdiamond.co.uk. So effectively, you've set your goals, then from there you're building your list, and then you're going to introduce them. But to introduce them in the correct way is so important. Don't go over explaining. Keep it really, really simple. Now, what we do is we invite people to watch the webcast that Simon's done on Destination Diamond. There's a recorded call as well, which he did, which is another fantastic tool. If you're out and about, you can literally press play on that and let people listen to that recorded call. So, for example, if I was introducing someone to this, I'd say, hey, it's Alan. I've got something I need you to see right now. Are you in front of your computer? Yeah, I am. Okay, go to this website, destinationdiamond.co.uk, and tell me when you're there. And what I try and do, again, because we've got solid posture, because what we've got is phenomenal, when you're speaking to people, have excitement in your voice, because again, tonality, makes a big difference. So get them onto destinationdiamond.co.uk. I say, right, what I want you to do is press play on step 1 and just watch that 8-minute video, and we'll talk as soon as it's finished. So I've been a tour guide. I pointed them to that video. Real simple system. Again, the more times you do this each day, the bigger your business is going to grow, and that's why a 90-day blast is so important. So we get people to watch that. We then give them the application. Again, there's lots of different ways you can build this. You can get them to watch both the presentations on Destination Diamond and then give the app. It's entirely up to you. I'm just showing you what I've done. It's been really successful. So I give them the application. Bear in mind, on that 8-minute video, I'm not working that with them. I carry on working. I mute my phone. I'll do some more emails. They're listening to it. And as soon as it's finished, I say, great, I'm going to give you the free app you've just heard about. I get them to install my application on their computer, so my business has just grown. Even if they decide the actual business opportunity is not for them, my business has grown anyway because I've given an app away, and I've truly helped someone by giving them the amazing product which we have in the shopping show. So as we give the app away, I do a quick 5-minute demonstration, choose one product so they can see how the application works. They're more likely to use it. I'm going to generate a greater income. They're going to generate greater savings. So again, that's a really powerful tool, is actually demoing the app. Now, if you're not in a position where you can't demo the app, again, Destination Diamond has also got a section on there on how to demonstrate the application. You can link them to that if you're not in a position yourself where you can actually talk them through it. I personally like talking them through it. I can spend 5 minutes to help someone save a lot of money, knowing it's going to help my business long term as well. Then I get them further information. Two of the great ways to do that is the recorded webcast, which is the step 2 on destinationdiamond.co.uk. Really important to get to see on the whole company, the earning systems, so they can see the overall opportunity and how powerful and big this opportunity really is. If you want to build to the live webcast, again, on a Monday night on the UK time zone, I know there's lots of leaders around the world doing them at different, but the principle's the same. You're getting people to see the Sherlock message. So we invite people to the live webcast. We stick to the system where we there introduce them to a 3-way call with our uplines or sponsors, get the questions answered. We can use the websites as well for them to get further information. So there's never, in my opinion, been such a simple system. Go to this, press play. Go to this, click that to get a free app that you can use for free, get for free in the world. This is a global business. And then press play again for further information by watching another webcast, and then dial a phone or click a Skype to add someone into a 3-way call. You do not get more simpler than that. You can build this business introducing this to people while you're on holiday, while you're driving, anywhere, because it's such a simple system. You've just got to remember these words. destinationdiamond.co.uk. It does all the work for you. So we've got a real simple system to build, but if you're sending emails as well, like I mentioned before on how you can send that information out on so many emails, some people you might not have a phone number for. Important is the fortune is in the follow-up. So if you've got a phone number, you want to schedule the next business opportunity meeting with them, you want to schedule your next call, to say you ring somebody up and they're not available to see the presentation at that time. That's not a problem. Not everyone's going to be in front of the computer. Not everyone's going to be able to get on a webcast. But when could you be in front of the computer for sure? 8 o'clock Monday, that's perfect. I'm going to send you an invitational link for a guest-only webcast on Monday at 8 p.m. I'll call you about 25 past when it's finished to get your thoughts. Now, if you say I'll call you at 25 past, on that dot, that phone needs to be ringing. Or you can say, if you've got lots of people on the webcast, you call me, because then you get the first person to call you. You can create that excitement, because obviously the webcast is so important. So the fortune really isn't a follow-up. It's about being professional and speaking to as many people as fast as you can using this clear system that we have. Again, whether you lead with the application and then show the business, or the business and then give the app, the principle's the same. It's about giving people information, making sure they understand the information, get their questions answered, and a lot of people do see what we see. And imagine it like this. Imagine as well as you're building through this list, if I said to you, right, you've just come on board, you've joined, you're really excited, Now let's hit the ground running with massive pace. Let's create momentum. Get your list. You've done your list. And then you go and talk to people and you go away from the system. You come back and say, hey, this doesn't work. No, you've not worked the system. The system there, it works. There's people using it every day of the week. There's people sponsoring lots of people. I know Simon sponsored well over 100. I sponsored personally 92 people using this system. It's simple, it's effective. So let's duplicate that, create that in the team throughout. Now imagine on your list, imagine if you've got 100 people on your list. If I said to you, let's flip that. If I said there's a pool of water, and in that water there's 100 oysters, and in those 100 oysters there's 5 pearls. Those could be your superstars in our business model. But you know what? You've got to dive down, but you can only pick them out one at a time and open them one at a time. If the first 10 pearls you dived in to get, the oysters, you pulled them out, if they were empty, you still keep diving. But imagine if I said for each pearl you find, I'll give you 25,000 as well as a bonus. You imagine that. You'd be diving. And if after 95 dives, you've not got one pearl, you're probably excited because you know the next ones could change your life. And that's what I love about our business with the Shopping Sherlock. The next 2 conversations we have could completely change our lives with the business that we have. Because in a 90-day blast, it can absolutely do that, and it can change your business, it can change your life. Get the biggest list you can do. Invite them to see the opportunity in the best way, in the fastest way that you can. If someone comes on board, set them up correctly and try and just duplicate those simple steps. Talk to a lot of people, commit to it, because a 90-day blast is very, very powerful, because it's easier to build this business fast than it is to build it slow. It's a lot about mindset, it's a lot about belief and posture as well, but if you've got that, when you're speaking to people, they will understand, wow, he's excited. I want to catch a little bit of what he's got. So make every day count, and I recommend really enjoy the journey, because we need to have fun while we're building this. Our Shopping Sherlock is absolutely phenomenal. Our opportunity is second to none. We're ahead of the wave on this. We can literally explode this around the world, especially with all the benefits that have been added to the websites recently. So Simon, in my opinion, the 90-day blast is the way to go for everybody to duplicate it through, and it can make massive, massive differences to everybody's business if they do that. Over to you, Simon.
Alan, thank you. Alan, thank you so much. They are words of wisdom. The interesting thing, folks, you just heard Alan do that amazing presentation. He lives by every word he says. Now, I can prove that because this last week, him and his wife, Caroline, and their 4 sons went on holiday. And Alan prospected a contact of his who is actually on the webinar. And John, you're actually listening to every word I'm saying. Now, Alan wasn't near a computer. He didn't have internet access, but he had his prospect, John, go on to Destination Diamond. Then he 3-way John to me while he's on holiday, standing in a field somewhere in the United Kingdom. John and I had a great conversation. John then said, yes, I'm going to join. And about 12 hours after we put the phone down, John becomes a distributor. So congratulations, John. Welcome aboard. But this is the most important thing. Alan does what he says. Alan doesn't just talk about it. That's why he's sponsored 92 people personally. Now, just for sheer maths, divide 92 by 2. So that gives you $45 $100 for fast start bonuses. That means Alan has earned just $4,500 just on sponsoring people, new people in the program. I tell you now, Alan is a superstar. Now, with myself, I'm a great believer in doing things fast. If you know you want to succeed, do it now. Don't do it later. It took me only 18 days to go global. Why? Because I actually did this 90-day blast. I did it in 90 hours. I just compiled my list and I just blitzed it big time. So I went global in my first 18 days and in diamond 20 weeks. 20 weeks to go diamond. Folks, that's how you make fortunes in this business. Absolute fortunes. Now, I'm going to mention a couple of interesting things. You're going to notice on our homepage, the homepage has got just under where you see back office login, just below it, it says select a language. If you click on that button, that comes down all the different countries. Let's choose a country. I'm just going to choose a country, Russian. Click on Russian, boom. In a second, there you go, it's all translated into Russian. The whole homepage is in Russian. It's in many, many, many different languages. So now your international sponsoring should be so much easier. And what you need to do, guys, is keep your eyes out for a very important email later on this week. There should be a special webinar, a corporate webinar that's going to be coming out, that's going to be launching some new products. Okay, the other thing I was going to say is, if you can imagine, if you've got value out of tonight's training, could you imagine if it wasn't just you doing a 90-day blast? Imagine if you promoted this to your team. Imagine if you had 5 of your team doing the 90-day blast. Could you imagine the significant benefits you would get? I'll tell you now, folks, this is an amazing opportunity. We got amazing leadership and we got an amazing system. I've yet to see an opportunity with this system that we've created. And I know I'm biased because I'm part of the system, but I tell you now, this is phenomenal. Now, I've got myself the business cards printed. Obviously, if you're not in the UK, then you won't be able to get them, but you can see them and you can perhaps copy them. And that's a great concept that I use. If I'm at a social function and I'm talking to somebody, I'll always turn around and say, there's my opportunity, there's my application. I will talk about the application if I'm in an environment that's a social environment. So they will have all my details, but the business card emphasizes the opportunity. So I don't push the opportunity at a social function. I let them absorb the card and I let them see what it's all about. And every single person listening to this webinar has a chicken list. Let me explain to you what a chicken list is. A chicken list are people that you're frightened to speak to. These are people that you think, oh, they're either a hotshot businessman or they're somebody that's a professional person and they're way above my station, way above my league, I can't speak to them. With the system, it's so much easier, and that is where the 3-way call comes into effect. If any of you are not on Skype, you need to go on Google, put SKYPE, and you need to download Skype. It's free of charge. And you need to practice it with either your upline or your upline's global or whatever, so you understand how it works. Because I tell you now, 3-way calling is the most essential ingredient, the most essential tool that we have to build our opportunity. So, folks, my time's up. Thank you for yours. What I would like to do is to ask every single one of you to do some homework for me. I know we do this every week, and just put one sentence in an email in the next 24 hours so I can blast it out to everybody who has missed this training, missed this event. I'm a great believer in promoting events, and I always promote the Tuesday webinar, Tuesday training webinar. It is an amazing event, and we will be getting another guest speaker to do some training next week. So please make sure that you send me the email of what you like the most about